What ho everybody, Ian here. Well, it's a dull, grey, damp Sunday morning here. Lots of people in town are in church, but me, I'm off to the Church of the Scandinavian Prefabricated Model Railway Baseboard Kit. That's right. I'm going to Ikea because I'm going to pick up a couple of Mosslanda shelves because, well, I've got a couple of ideas for projects and well, I can't act on the idea for the project unless I actually have the baseboards. So we're going to take a drive down to Bloomington and we'll report back. Here we are back from Ikea with not one but two Mosslanders, including the humongous 45-inch, or what do they call it, 1100mm long version. But starting with the smaller one, this really gives you an appreciation for what James does with his hi-fi micros. I mean, if I put my two-car DMU on here, I mean, it really does fit in there very well. I mean, a two-car DMU is going to travel twice its length there to get out of the scene. A single car is obviously going to travel 4 times its length, but so it's like, it's nicely proportioned. It's very nicely proportioned, and well, I could see myself doing something in this shorter version. So we'll see what happens there. But Mosslanda is basically, it's just like three pieces of wood, and when I opened the packet up, there was a definite whiff of the resin or the glue or whatever they use to assemble these things, but that's gone now. So I guess these are like spray painted or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, so they're all. So we've got 3 pieces of wood: a base piece, a front piece, and a rear piece. And the base piece has a nice groove in it, which I think you could. I've always believed you could put a piece of angle in there, and it would help facilitate locating multiple sections together. The channel might even accept wiring. I don't know. That's something to look into. But yeah, so I can see why these could be popular for the micro layout modeler. It certainly works for N-gauge. I mean, I'm not sure if it works for 00 scale, or maybe it would probably work for TT, but anything larger than that probably wouldn't work. I mean, you'd certainly be able to get something in Z scale in there. I would be pretty certain on that. I mean, I've got a lot of short length of Z scale track here, and well, you know, it fits in there without a problem. So I mean, I would imagine maybe you could get a turnout in there and the short siding, maybe some kind of tuning fork arrangement in there in Z scales. Worth thinking about. So yeah, we'll see what we'll come up with that. So that's my 55 centimeter version. So let's talk about this one, the big one, the humongous 45-incher, or what are we calling this? 115 centimeters. It's so big it was knocking stuff down over here. So, yes. Now, the thing with the Mosslanda is you have to work with those size limitations, and the way James does it is by going smaller. And well, I thought, me being very contrary, like I am, I thought, why don't I go bigger? And then you're going to say, well, Ian, you've just said no, you can't, 00 won't fit. But what happens if you exploit this limitation? And I was thinking, where in the world could you have a really cramped, compact location? And quite obvious, really, in a mine tunnels. And so I've been thinking about a mine tunnel railway with a battery electric locomotive shuttling skips up and down here, with perhaps with an IMCO overthrow loader at one end. A loco, I've got a battery electric model come from Chris Rennie at Loco Remote, and it would shove them up. Push. Let's go with push rather than shove, because I couldn't say shove right there, could I? So it'll push a skip up to the rock face. The IMCO would tip and fill the skip, and the locomotive and the skip would disappear off stage. It would. This would probably necessitate having to scratch build an IMCO loader, because nothing is available like that, I don't believe. But it would be an interesting problem to solve. And yeah, I think most things falling off my desk there. I think it would work in 16mm scale. I mean, let's have a closer look. So here we are. This will give you an idea that I'm not talking too much rubbish about idea of a 16mm layout on a Ikea Mosslanda shelf. So here we have, I've laid some little bit of track down there just to show you that there is the clearance here, and you could in fact lay the track in there. I've added this piece of thick foam core board in the back there just to show that you could fit a carved rock face in there. You could peel the paper off of this material and carve that and cover it with spackle or plaster or something to create the rock wall effect on the tunnel there. So I think it could work. I mean, the problem is, of course, the IMCO loader. I don't quite know how I would actually go about building one yet. I mean, I've looked a drawing up, and well, I've started creating my own drawing for one, and yeah, I'm not sure how to do it yet. I originally thought that the bucket pivoted, and that would have been fairly easy to just rotate a bucket around a pivot point. But no, it doesn't. It rocks. Well, it's called a rocker loader, isn't it? So that was the clue. So yeah, I don't know how I would do that just yet in 16mm scale. At least the bits are going to be big, so that there wouldn't be any problem with making some really small pieces, I guess. So, and I guess the way I would see it, once we've got the IMCO loader problem sorted out, we would have a pile of rocks and tunneling debris at the end of the tunnel there, and the IMCO loader would just scoop it up and tip it into the skip or mining tub or whatever wagon I would decide to use in this situation. The skip, actually, if I go above, you can see that there's not a lot of room around the skip, so maybe a mining tub would be a little bit smaller and would give me a bit more clearance. But what would you use for tunnel waste? Well, there's several grades of like talus, woodland scenic talus like that, and I've got another grade here. So we have several different grades of this material that would make a great tunneling waste, I think. So I think you can now visualize this, that rocker loader would tip into this skip or mining tub, and then that would be hauled off to be emptied, and the IMCO loader would load the skip up again. It would be a bit Sisyphean in its operation, but I think it would be quite interesting. And like I say, I'm not sure if my modeling abilities or problem solving abilities would actually be good enough to sort out the operation of a rocker loader, but there's plenty of food for thought here. Maybe something will happen in the next 12 months. So there we go. That's the idea. I mean, sounds a bit crazy, doesn't it? That there are modelers out there who I'm sure could actually create a working IMCO loader like that. And I think a small little thing like this, if it was just like running automatically, maybe if you could set up an automatic shuttle on, tip some waste in, then shuttle off, empty. The actual tipping, the rocker motion, the tipping action, that would get a lot of people interested, I think. I mean, as you know, I'm a big proponent of working features on small layouts, and I think, wow, the working IMCO loader would be pretty darn cool. So there you go. That's something to think of, something to think about in the new year. Maybe this time next year we will be looking at a mine tunnel loading micro layout. We will see. Anyway, I have to get back upstairs and finish off the micro model railway dispatch for the winter right now, the winter issue. So a quick rundown on that. I'm really pleased with this one because the majority of the contributors who contributed layouts and concepts, their first language is not English. I've got some German, some Dutch, and some Italian modelers providing the layouts and the ideas for this magazine. So I'm really happy about that, really excited about that. It does go to show that we've got a whole world of micro layout builders out there. So look for that on December the 21st or thereabouts, depending on how my Christmas plans work out there. And subscribers, of course, you will get it a week before then. So look for it round about December the 14th. So yeah, I'll get on with that, and we will talk again in another week or so. So we'll see you then. And don't forget, build that model, lay that track, run that train. Above all, have fun.